going live shot.
Welcome to Game Notes Daily,
the hottest gambling show on planet Earth. I'm your host, Colby Armstrong, with all the hockey talk.
I'm your host, Matt Murley, with all the hockey winners.
Hit up the comments. We're interactive. The chat is engaged.
We have a rock star about to join us.
Oh!
No, it's called the Mixer Pop now, buddy.
Yeah, we got the Wit Dog joining
the boys.
Oh, not more of this guy.
You guys have a great show.
The Rangers are just losers.
Bing, bing, bing. I'm looking. Yeah. Did I just see Matt Murley get named on national television?
I didn't get laid in Bermuda. What the fuck does that have to do with tonight?
Now, let's get right to the action.
Holy moly, what an intro. Great job. Who is that, Pasha and Fish?
Pasha
and all
put
them
that
guys?
one together.
Oh, my God. What a show. Unbelievable. Welcome, everybody. This is the Monday afternoon session of Game Notes Daily. Army's traveling to Toronto or something, so we got Rear Admiral full-time. We got G in here. We're going to have some guests later on. Big day today, Game 2 here in Vegas. Before we get to the hockey talk, let me talk to you about TheScore Bet. TheScore Bet is the best sports book for the hockey-obsessed. Spit and Chicklets crew always has specials on there every day with boosted odds or special odds. But remember, always play responsibly. 19 plus, Ontario only. If you have a gambling problem, call Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600. It's a big week for the Score Bet. The PGA is in town. The RBC Open, it's up in Toronto. Did you see that little thing they have there, the Score Bet, G?
Yes, I did, Army. I mean, Merles. Incredible. I mean, it's the hole zero, a playable par 3 for fans at the RBC Canadian Open. And you can do it. Anyone can do it. So it's pretty cool. I've never been up to the Canadian Open. I've heard it's incredible. I heard it's a blast of a time. But, all right, you got any Canadian Open winners? I feel like you always bet the field in golf.
I bet half the field, just individually. Usually the field, if you just bet the field, it's usually shitty odds no matter what the sport. I had second and third place, whatever event was last weekend. I had Scheffler. He was 70-1 Saturday night. He ended up one stroke he ended up back. He had like a -5 Sunday, so obviously no one likes the loser stories. But I'll take a look, G. I'll look at some golfers. I bet by names and countries, man. I don't know shit about golf. Just hope to get lucky with an 80-1. But big game tonight out west, Merles. You got a ticket lined up or what?
Yeah, man,
guys,
we're in the building.
Before we get into the games tonight, the whole chat is buzzing right now about Cole Caulfield. Cole Caulfield just signed that big 8-year deal, a little over 7.5, I believe, AAV. What are your guys' thoughts on that? I'd love to hear what you guys think.
I mean, I think all this money is out of control. That's a ton of money. Good kid, though. We had him in the sandbagger, and just by listening to your guys' interview with Marty St. Louis, you know, he had high praises with him, and I mean, it's going to probably be a good deal in a couple years when all these other guys are making 10, 11 million. But I mean, it's so much money. It's crazy what these guys are getting.
Can we consider that a Chicklets bump, G? Where we had Marty on last week, and then he gets the check this week.
I personally think it's a great deal for both sides. I think it's a better deal for the Canadians. I mean, this guy could score 40 goals next year. I don't even think he's like 22 years old.
Yeah, he's just not. He still hasn't like even come close to being in his prime. Like, and they're just going to get better as a team, which will get him more opportunities and stuff.
I think you muted Mikey.
Yeah.
Oh, that cap is going up. That's going to look like a great deal in a few years.
Yeah, the cap's only going up $1 million next year because the escrow is still out there. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a bargain if this kid continues on the trajectory he's on. I mean, he's already a sniper, one of the better snipers in the league already. And yeah, he could be 50, maybe 60 goal guy in his mid-20s, and that'll be a huge bargain considering if the cap keeps going up. And look at Matthews; they're talking him getting 13, 14 million his next deal. I don't know. Well, Dubas ain't there anymore, so
you're never going to win on a deal like that.
I know.
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. Well, Sid said it doesn't work unless everybody takes a little less. Yep. So, see what happens. But some other big news too, Merles. I know we talked about the other day, but Babcock not definitely back. They say he's going to be back at the end of the month. Brunette, Nashville. What was the other one? I'm still waiting on Laviolette. Haven't.
That Rangers.
Ready.
Well, how about, I had that lined up for later on to talk about the
Okay.
Memorial Cup. Quebec Remparts won the Memorial Cup, and Patrick Waugh is their head coach, and he's been rumored to maybe going to New York as well. I wonder if he'll get another shot in the NHL, and you win the Mem Cup, you're riding high, so I wouldn't be
I actually have a
surprised.
funny story about Patrick Waugh. So last weekend I was at Memorial Day weekend. I was at this bar in Jersey down the shore. I was pretty banged up, and this guy comes up to me and he's like, "Hey man, my dad is Martin Brodeur. I'm a big. It was Jeremy Brodeur. He's like, I'm a big fan of the pod. He's like, my dad loves the pod, and I was so buckled that I instantly got Martin Brodeur and Patrick Waugh confused. Confused. So I'm like, your dad's gonna be coach of the Rangers. Just admit it. And he's like, no, man. Like, my dad's like a devil for life. Like, why? What are you talking about? I'm like, you're lying. He's gonna be a coach of the. Just say he's gonna be coach of the Rangers. And he's like, are you okay? Like, do you know who my dad is? I'm like, just admit it. Come to find out, like, an hour later, I'm like, wait, that was Brodeur, not Waugh. What the fuck am I talking about here?
Wow. Tough look
Pretty
for the
embarrassing.
producer of Chiclets.
Oof. Tough one.
It was just instant, too many RBVs and little too much big deal brew.
I had a kind of like an embarrassment moment here. Like after the game one, it was so crowded you couldn't get an Uber out of here. Like it was just mayhem. So me and the mix slid over the MGM, the place in Blackjack, the MGM Grand. It's right there, right next to it. So I'm playing some blackjack. We're having a good time. He gets up. Of course, it's the time he gets up to like go to the bathroom. And I ordered a White Russian. So I'm sitting there. I'm drinking a White Russian, playing blackjack. Looks by myself. And Mike Rupp and the NHL Network guys come by. Hey, Merles, what's going on? Like, are you all right? And I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, you're sitting here alone drinking a glass of milk. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, no. I'm like, no, my buddy just ran to the bathroom. It's a White Russian. Like, everything's good. I'm having a good time. But that was fun. I was riding high after that win. That building is nuts. This place is crazy. I heard it was insane anyway, like during the regular season. I lost my voice just talking to Miggs and Jeff Jacobson next to me, which leads me to another funny story. So I know Jeff's coming. He's like, what section? I'm like, I'm in the lower bowl. Our seats are 105 or something. Thinking that's the lower bowl. He goes, oh, that's too bad. He goes, I'm up in the mezzanine or whatever near the TNT thing. Oh, all right. Well, I'll see you after the game probably. So it's weird. Like the lower bowl is single numbers. It's not 100s. You know what I mean? It's like 46 or 22 is instead of 122. So we were actually in the same section and in the same row. We're walking up. We end up sitting next to him all game, and it was right beside Biz and Gretzky and all them.
He mentioned that to me. What are the chances of that? It's like
it was so wild.
Yeah, that's a wild story that happened.
Yeah, and then Biz was on the set, and he turns around, and us three are standing there smiling at him. He was shocked, too. It was really fun. It was a great seat. We had a great seat. We're going to probably be in the same ones again tonight. I'll be down there again. I went down there. We were down there at this place called Beer House, and there's a row of bars all, like, right outside the rink.
Beer House.
It's a great setup.
There may or may not be a Spit and Chicklets party at Beer House before Game 5. It's not confirmed yet, but
okay,
it's likely going to be at Beer House.
Yeah, that's a great spot. Like, there's all these little bars right there, walking distance. Then there was a huge, like, concert and party in the square in front. We obviously slid over, played a little blackjack again before. Tables are ice cold for us. Ice cold. I am frozen. It is not a good look out here, but at least I won on the Vegas game and all my props, which quick recap on that. The Mixer boys got it done. Theodore, Petro, and then Bennett got in there, got a ton of shots. I hit all three of them. And Bennett, they moved to minus 180 already. They know he's going to get his shots.
You called that. Yeah. Game Notes had an incredible game one. I mean, I hit the Army convincing us to do the Vegas puck line right off the jump was just huge. I hit the Barbashev. You hit the Mixer. It was a great night all around for Game Notes.
Yeah, sorry, RA. Sorry for your losses, but
I don't know what you're talking about. Let's move along to the next subject. Dude, Florida, after two periods, Merle's it was anybody's game. And that to me seemed like the type of game that Florida won in the first three rounds, and they didn't the other night. So obviously that's a tribute to Vegas. But I don't know. I think they'll clean it up a little, couple mental mistakes. But I said to Whit and Biz last night, it was like it was a real like suffocating defensive battle the first like half a game, but it was like entertaining. There weren't a lot of chances, but those guys they were just like playing like sick D on each other. And usually that's kind of boring, but it was just a high
Singsy's
intensity
chirping
game.
you here. All right.
All right, Singsy wants to know if one of your 37 bets hit.
I did push on one of them. First period, I pushed on that. No, they didn't get a third goal to go over. They definitely didn't win the game. Money, regulation, or puck. Yeah, I did the opposite of sweeping the board the other night, save for the push. So, yeah, whatever. Shit happens.
Yeah, I mean, it was right there. That Aiden Hill save was that was a complete game changer. That was just incredible. And that goes in. It's a whole different story. But at the same time, Vegas had so many chances. If you look back, they had a couple breakaways they missed. And it was a great game. It was a great game. I'm excited for tonight. I was over at the practice rink on game 1, and it's so funny is that these Florida guys, they're staying right near there, and they're walking out, and nobody bothers them. Like the fans don't even know they're. I see Bobrovsky just walking out alone. Nobody's asking him for autographs or pictures. If this was in any other city,
Merles, imagine if this was in Toronto. If
Oh,
Toronto
my-
made the cup final, these guys would be swarmed the second they come out of the hotel lobby.
yeah, you wouldn't even be able to go out. They're walking right out the main lobby and going to their hotel and just walking across the street. Nobody's bothering. Their practices are closed because I tried to get in to watch it. They have closed door practices, so we weren't allowed in. Today, they didn't skate yesterday, and then I think Vegas, nobody's skating this morning because the game's at 5 o'clock out here, so it's not a normal game day. So they're really just kind of on their own and be ready to play, I guess. But I'm going to shoot over there again today after this and see if I can sniff any scoops out for us.
Hey, isn't that practice facility brand new and just like incredible? I heard it's so nice.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's got 2 rinks, and then there's a bar and restaurant in the middle of the 2, so you can go up there. You can watch both rinks. The huge gift shop. You almost have to like walk through the gift shop to get out. So the practices like sell out. I guess some of these Vegas practices, you got to have a wristband to get in. It's
That's
like
not
a
where the
airport.
Silver Knights play, is it?
No, they're on the other end of town. They're on Henderson. That's on the other side of the strip. This is the west side. I think Henderson's on the east side. And all right, you wouldn't like it. There's like the security, like the airport, the metal detectors to get in. So they'd be all over you.
Yeah, I just got to make sure I'm not sweaty or wearing any baggy clothes. Have you ever stayed at South Point, Merles? Do you ever stop by there?
No.
South, it's close. I think it might be in Henderson. It's kind of like an old school strip casino, but it's like not owned by stock like Wall Street. Basically, it's local owners, so you got real good odds there. It's a good spot if you got looking for a different place to play. They got better odds and shit there too.
Yeah, I think I'm done. I think I'm done with the tables for the trip. I've lost my allowance I was allowed to lose on this trip on that. I'm going to stick to the sports and stick to the hockey and to get some picks. I'm going to do the same picks to get something going. You want to get talking some picks. I'm doing the same exact ones I did the other night. I got Theodore again over 2.5 shots plus 115. I got Petro again. He's still plus 120 on the score bet over 2.5 shots. Bennett moved to minus 180. I'm not touching that. I don't like the minus 180. And I'm doing Carlson to get a point. My Swedish Viking over half a point, minus 120. Those are mine. I'm going to be Vegas again. Vegas heavy. EBR rule number 1, boots on the ground. You got to take the home team or the over. I should have took both last game.
Merles, I feel like this should be an EBR rule. When you have a meeting with both teams that are in the Stanley Cup final, you cannot bet on either team. So I have a meeting with the Vegas Golden Knights today and the Florida Panthers on just what we're planning for games 4 and 5. I can't take either. I can't take either. So I'm rooting for goals. We want goals, so I'm taking the over at 5.5. It's tough because you don't want to bet against Bobrovsky just the way he's been playing, but I'm betting the over, boys.
I like it. Yeah, last game, if you look at all the chances, there could have been 10 or 12 goals. There was so many good chances for both sides. So I don't mind the over there. I can't believe it's still 5.5. I thought I'd see it move up to 6.
Yeah, Rose. Florida had tons of chances. They were scrambling around. There was a bunch, fire drills going on, and Hill was great. I mean, he stood up to basically every shot. But what's his name, Bobrovsky? That third goal, that's one we hadn't seen all playoffs, and you could tell his body language right away. He knew he should have had it. So Aiden Hill outplayed him the other night. So I'm thinking, I wouldn't say a bounce back game for Bob. He wasn't bad, but that third goal wasn't obviously turned out to be the difference. But I'm sticking with Florida. They don't want to go down 2-0. The stats on that, I think they're 85% or something in the Cup team that goes up 2-0. Not the 2011 Bruins, but so anyways, I'm gonna jump on the Panthers. I think they're 120-ish. Gonna do that, and my usual, take them a little lower on the regulation only, which is like 195-ish, and then puck line's like 260. So, major bet on the money line, then a couple of small chases, regulation and puck. See what happens. Over under, I'm not touching. I'll root for the over for you, though, G.
What's Singsy? Singsy's got a cheat here. Here's a cheat on the overall. Parlay Florida over 2 goals and Vegas over 2.5 goals for plus 132. I don't know that. I mean, but what happens? How mad would you be if Vegas wins 6-0, Singsy, and it hits over? But that didn't hit. The chat's fired up. They miss Army. Yeah, we all miss Army. He's the best at getting the chat. See if I can find anybody here. Mark Stone has me driving me crazy. He scored last game.
Hey, Anthony Duclair. People are saying Anthony Duclair has been a big piece for the Peas this year. I mean, this playoffs. I'd like to see him get on the board.
Yeah, he had that nice face-off goal, which kind of shocked all of us. We were kind of all. What we were talking about too is that this is what Florida does. They you can't take a second off with them. You kind of took a deep breath on the power play. They scored shorthanded. That game was they were swarming, and then they covered it, and it was the face-off with 10 seconds left or whatever, and everybody kind of oh, period's over, right? You can't, and then boom, they pounced and they scored right off the draw. So this Florida team, you can't take your foot off the pedal against them. They'll jump on you.
Why don't we bring in our Vegas insider, Merle? What do you think?
Yeah. Let's get Miggsy in here. I'm actually in his office. I think I had to walk through a casino, a bar, just to get back to this office where this guy works. It's unbelievable. But I'm here. I got better internet today. Miggsy, what's up? What do you got going?
I think I'm on the same kind of bus you are. A little bit of struggle today, Monday morning, but pumped for the game tonight. I mean, Merle, you've been in the building now. I know you guys are talking about it, but it is bonkers. The show that the Knights put on, I mean, is just awesome. They had a big-time DJ out in the lobby, out in the plaza area, pumping the crowd up even before they get in. So it'll be the same thing tonight. Place will be a zoo. Vegas just looks so good. I mean, they're just rolling 4 lines. I think it's going to be tough for Florida. I mean, I think Florida will – I don't know if they win tonight, I don't think, but they're going to get a game. They're just too good, and they made the Cup final and everything. But, just seeing them – I know Merle touched on it. We saw them walking out of the rink, the practice rink. And, I mean, obviously I'm reading into it, and I'm a little bit biased, but their body language didn't look great. I don't know. They were all kind of walking alone. We saw Bennett, he's walking alone. We saw, Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky walks out. Guy walks right by Bobrovsky, right over to Murley and goes, "Can I get a picture where hey man, you don't want the Conn Smythe? You don't want the Conn Smythe winner
was
guy
the wild
over there?
thing. What about him? That guy's in the NHL. He's going to probably win the Conn Smythe if Florida wins. You don't want to go get a picture with him? No, I'm good. I'm just a fan of chiclets.
Yeah, so it was really good, but it just I don't know. I mean, that game was really close. I think if maybe a bounce here, bounce there, but Vegas they get 3 goals from defensemen, which is really big. And then the misfits show up again, a couple of them to get a couple. So it's going to be great. We're having a good time out here. I lost my voice yelling at Merle, yelling over at blackjack and things like that. So I'm having fun.
Yeah, no, I lost it during the game. It's so loud in there. You guys wouldn't believe how loud it is, nonstop. It is absolutely insane.
Boys, we got one more guest that's going to join in. The Wit Dog from the car.
Oh, wow. The Wit. The Wit. Wow. I haven't seen you forever. What's up, buddy?
What's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
A little Vegas voice out here.
Buddy, good.
I know. It doesn't sound too bad. It doesn't sound too bad, though, Mar.
How we've been keeping it light. The game starts at 5 o'clock, so it's early nights out here, which is good for us at our age.
I know. I'm actually looking forward to that Game 5. The 5 o'clock start is just beautiful. Beautiful.
Well, it's great.
There's talk out here. There's talk out here. It might not get to 5 Wit. You're going to be out here.
There's a legit chance, I think. I'm worried after the other night. Now, granted, Florida definitely had, they have 3 posts. They had the save of the year against them. But Vegas in that third period, it was 2 different leagues, I felt like. They just shut it down right in your face. The D. I mean, what's his name? Hag is just laughing at everyone as they're punching him in the face. They don't
He's
care.
a monster. He's a monster. I'm telling you, he's 6'6", and I was going to say that with Florida's trying to turn it into a shit fight, like roll around on the ground. And Haig just comes right in, stands right over Kachuk, like, hey, buddy, like, you're not going to bully. Yeah, you're not going to bully us, like, whatever. And then you saw Eden Hill, like, blocker the one guy. It started a little mosh pit there, and Eichel tackled some guy.
Yeah, that was Eichel tackled Gudis, which I've never seen done before. It's like I don't know what happened, but then it was bullshit though that Florida ended up a man down after that whole skirmish when Hill was throwing the punches at Cousins. That should have been at least 4-on-4. So Florida, I mean, can't count them out yet. I actually like them tonight. If you want to get down my picks, I'm all over Bobrovsky over saves. I think it's 29.5. I think he bounces back. And RA might have already mentioned, that was probably the first weak goal he's given up in about a month when White Cloud made it 3-2. I feel like he should have had that one. So you think he bounces back. And then I like Barkov for over 1.5 points. I think he shows up and has a big one, but it's going to be a tough game for Florida to get back in this series just because of Vegas they're so like, what's the word I'm looking for? Disciplined too. Like Stone, if you hit Stone, he doesn't care. He just doesn't hit you back. He just skates away. Like they're just a veteran club.
The least penalized team in the NHL during the season, if you didn't know.
Oh, who did Biz say that?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was Biz that said that one time. But I know Bobrovsky saves is on the score bet over 29.5, and your Barkov over 1.5 points is plus 250 on the score bet. So that's some nice prices there. I like those bets. That's what, like, and we were talking earlier, like, if you don't really, like G doesn't know which team to take, those are fun bets because it doesn't really matter. Like, you're just entertaining during the game, 29.5 saves. You're happy getting shots either way. That's why I like the shop bets. I liked having both teams in that. I don't have it today because the Bennett one got too high, but I was in the game the whole time, no matter which end. Somebody's out there, you're looking for action.
So Merles, I have only been to the All-Star game in Vegas, which doesn't count. It's a disgrace. But was it just insane? Is it like something you've never seen?
Son, I never seen. I'm telling you, that's why I lost my voice. My wife's like, "Oh, you guys must have been partying all night. That's why you have Vegas voice right now." Honest to God, it was during the game, trying to talk to Miggs and Jeff on both sides of me. It was so loud. The pregame thing everybody talks about was great.
Guys, we have a little bit of breaking news here.
Ooh.
The Anaheim Ducks have hired Greg Cronin as their head coach.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my God. Wow. Greg Cronin, he's been around forever. Yeah, he was at Northeastern. Right? He was at the National Development Program when it began in 1998, I think. Wow. Yeah, that's an interesting decision. Yeah, that guy.
I was wondering who was going to get that young roster out there. I was wondering
where was Cronin this past year.
So this is from their website. It says Cronin, 60, begins his first stint as an NHL head coach following 36 prior years of coaching and player development experience, including 12 years as an NHL assistant coach and roles in the American Hockey League, AHL, NCAA, and USA Hockey. He joins Anaheim after spending 5 seasons as the head coach of the Colorado Eagles, the Colorado Avalanche's primary development affiliate.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, you know what? At least it's not, the old boys club rehire that Merles gets frustrated about sometimes. And I think that it's just such an interesting time for Anaheim. I mean, I think once they get Fantilli, Anaheim in 5 years could be a Stanley Cup contender. I mean, they got McTavish, Drysdale, Fantilli. They got Zegras. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do goaltending wise, right? Because it's probably time to trade him. I feel like he's made it kind of open that he wants to be contending. But that's an exciting hire. I mean, definitely kind of outside the box, I'd say.
I think it's also great because you see it, like, give it to a guy who basically is a lifer and he's grinding. He's worked everywhere. He obviously knows young players. He's been in the A. He's been at the development camp. He coached in college, so he maybe can talk to those younger guys. He kind of knows them. I think it's good though. The guy who's been working for 35 years, gets his shot with a really exciting roster out here, which is nice.
Yeah, that's going to be a good spot. Like, and you have these young talent. Guys are going to want to go there. Guys will lift their no trades to go there. You get the great weather. You got good players. That's going to be a really nice spot to go. I've been wondering about this. We were kind of chatting about it with the guys over at the Vegas rink, how the warm weather, like, I wonder if this is having, like, an impact. Like, when you get older, like, it helps you're in this warm weather all season long. Tampa was in the finals for 3 straight years. You got Florida here. You got Vegas. Dallas was
Merles,
in.
you're telling me everyone in the NHL right now, every player that's playing in Canada, Winnipeg, Calgary, is looking at what Matthew Tkachuk did this offseason and said, get me the fuck out of Calgary and send me to Fort Lauderdale. I want to be drinking at the Elbow Room, and I want to be driving my Maserati. Like, it's a no-brainer. No state tax, too.
Yeah, it's great. Like, just here, like, out here, like, Migs has shown me, like, where the players live and stuff. It's, like, the #1 school district in the world or something, right, Migs, out here?
Yeah, well, the private schools. So, like, we were talking to the guys the other day, and they were saying, like, the pitch is pretty simple. It's like, hey, look, you're in Summerlin. It's beautiful. Weather's beautiful. Rinks here. Private schools are great here. Cars. Everything's nice out here, and especially with the state tax. And obviously, Foley doesn't mind paying right up to the number. So yeah, it's a really nice area. The guys really like it. We heard like where Eichel eats his pregame is over there. It's a really nice little Italian spot. So yeah, the guys are loving it. It's a good spot. And, you think about it, and there's a little bit more pressure up in Canada. You're playing in Edmonton or Calgary. They're all over you. And we were saying before, like, guys are walking down the street here and no one's even saying hello to them. Like, it's just like you go about your day, which I think some guys like. They don't necessarily want to be, hounded with like autograph seekers and things like that. So it works out pretty well.
Yeah.
I would say Vegas is a legit top 3. Can you guys hear me? Or I got bad service.
Yeah.
No, I can hear you.
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, we got you, Whit.
Oh, sorry. I think Vegas is a top 3 place to play in the NHL. Like, granted, there's been like the past couple of years where they'll just gas pipe guys and they change the team pretty quick. But yeah, I mean, like, people think of Vegas and crazy nightlife, but the suburbs and like where these guys live is so nice. The weather's sick, the fans are amazing, and there's no pressure. So that, along with the no state tax, like, I would much rather Vegas than for the Panthers, just because of like the arena and like how much far away it is from where guys live in Lauderdale and stuff like that. Like, it's still a good place, but Vegas is where it's at.
Yeah.
And the people who work for the Knights, I mean, they've done such a great job. Like Merles and I have had a chance to kind of talk to a couple of the Smurfs and meet people at the rink, and Merle will vouch for it. They're good people. They got a lot of great people working in there. They're working hard because they know it's a new brand. This is so big. They've been to the Cup now twice, so I think people really know them, and it's the entertainment capital of the world. So like, people are gonna want to come here anyway. But yeah, it's awesome.
All right, I'm going to give you a chance at this little trivia question now that Migs just brought that up. 6 years they've been in the league. They went to the finals twice. There's 2 other teams that did that in their first 6 years. Any guesses on that?
St. Louis Blues.
Yep.
Are we going back, like, is this like expansion era or like way back in the 40s? Okay.
Yeah, it's a team you would think of.
6 years.
And I can give you a little tip. They moved from another league to the NHL in their first 6 years. They made the finals twice or 3 times.
Edmonton.
Yep. Yeah, Oilers and Blues. I thought that was pretty interesting stat. I never would have guessed St. Louis. I didn't know how you had that one.
Well, because
keep an RA sharp for the trivia.
I know, but that's when the Blues used to get crushed because they'd play the original 6 part of the league, and they'd just get hammered when they won through their like shitty division or whatever it was.
Yeah, when they went from 6 to 12, Merles, they like the expansion team was guaranteed to be in the Stanley Cup final because they put all the original 6 in one division, then the expansion teams in another. That's why St. Louis got in a couple of years.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
That nice little nugget there. I'm glad I brought that up. I had no idea why they were there. I didn't have time to research it more. I thought I'd throw that out as a little trivia. I might get into that. Maybe
where is the arm dog right
trivia. I think
Where's
he said he was on his way to Toronto to do something. This guy's got his hand in everything.
His job up there.
Probably going for an assistant GM at
Army's
Toronto
mini
Maple
biz. Is Army not mini biz?
Yeah.
He's always doing something. He's always got that crooked nose and something.
Yeah, it's unreal how busy that guy is.
Rumor is out here is that Gretter got a private jet. Those guys are going to be taking the jet. Business going private to Lauderdale.
Right after the game, they're out of here.
Right after the game, I guess.
Of course.
Yeah, so we should let everyone know we will not be dropping the podcast tomorrow morning. We will be dropping it around 2:00 because Biz has to travel right after the game, so we can't record right after the game, so we have to record tomorrow morning. So expect a midday release on that Tuesday pod tomorrow. Great interview with Shane Knighty coming, though.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's
I
good.
don't know
was
much
awesome.
about him. I'm going to be interested to hear that.
Oh, that's a good one.
Merles and Miggy, how are the tables going so far? Any good runs? What's going on with the bank account? Gambling wise?
Bloodbath.
Bloodbath.
Oh my
Bloodbath.
God.
It's a
Miles,
bloodbath.
I don't have a bank
Miles.
account anymore, Ryan.
Miles, I don't get this. Literally, we did the live stream for the game. You were at the game. I said 100 times, I go, Merle's is probably up the most money he's ever been from one hockey game. Like, I figured you were taking Vegas next goal all game. They had 3 in a row and a third. You're at the game. I figured you hammered a money line, puck line, regulation. Like, what the fuck, dude?
I can't win on the tables, dude. Miggs gets 14 every single hand. Every
hand in blackjack. Every hand 13.
And
I didn't get one over 14. It's the worst. Just grinding.
The dealer gets a 10 every time against us. It's unbelievable. We sat in roulette. We sat with his mom and played roulette for probably 2 hours. I didn't hit one. I didn't
Not
cash
one
out.
number.
Like, the guy didn't hand me a chip once for 2 hours.
We had like the family day. We brought the wife to. She loves betting the horses, so we brought her over there. Merle didn't cash one horse ticket. He goes, I just have to wait for one horse, and I'll look at the name and I'll bet it. The first horse he sees is Letty, the guy like Nick Letty, the same name. Merle doesn't bet it. The horse immediately runs away with it. You know who we saw there, Whit? We saw Edzo. Edzo was there. Is that how you pronounce it, Merle? Get that one right?
Eddie Olchuk. Eddie O, my old coach, was there.
You're sitting right next to us at the horses.
Yep.
They're sitting right there.
He loves the ponies. He loves the ponies.
Loves it. Said he's been going there for 18 years or something. It was hilarious seeing him there.
Boys,
but yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, boys. It's starting to pour here, and I'm driving, so I gotta sign off. But I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for
Be safe. Thanks for stopping in the Whit. Mig, did we get any picks from you yet? Let's get on to your picks here.
No, I would say I'm just going to stick with the Vegas money line. Getting them at home 130. I think it's like 137. I think so. You're going to be rooting in there. You don't want to be the guy screaming. There were a lot of Panther fans though. We saw they had a lot of the baby blue jerseys out here. Those baby blue jerseys are really nice, like kind of like Tropic Thunder a little bit, but they're really nice. Saw a lot of that, so that was good to see them traveling. And those fans, man, we saw they were getting after it. They were really going. Florida fans are really going after it. So I'm on Vegas money line, and I'm just going to stick with Eichel. Eichel getting a goal tonight. I think he's due. I thought he played really well, kind of a good 200-foot game. I'd like to see him not get so much in the scrums. Safe. You don't need to be wrestling Gudis or Kachuk.
He's playing the full game. He really is figuring it out here in this playoff run. When your best player's doing all that stuff, then everybody else has to do it. He's really bought in. And
I like that Bobrovsky over saves. I think Vegas is going to keep trying to put it. It looked like, Ari, do you think it looked like they kind of had a scout on him? It looked like they were throwing a lot like at the high glove. A lot of the shots were at his glove. I don't know if that's like the scout that they're thinking. Did you notice that?
Yeah, because the Bruins were doing the same thing. They were trying to shoot on his glove side. Obviously, it did work for them, but I thought we said before you jumped on that he should have definitely had that third goal. I think he's going to look to redeem himself tonight. But I just want to go back to the fans. Were there a lot of Florida fans in there game one? Like a fair amount you could notice?
You could notice it. I mean, you could notice they had fans there, which is great because that it's good that they're traveling back and forth. I know Merle. It's kind of my first time being around people coming up to take pictures with the Merle. And they were saying, "Oh, we're going to go to Florida and back." So they're doing the taxiing, which is great to see. The Jordan Stahl goal, that's a guy, right? Jordan Stahl, the wraparound, like 1986 wraparound goal. I had first goal Vegas, so that was a killer. Yeah. I was battling for the rest of the time.
That's when you saw there was a lot of Florida fans cheering for that. Yeah. Did you see that prop that this guy put up? He's betting on block shots, combined block shots, 14. Jesus, Martinez, Petro, Gudis, and Forsling. Gudis might get 14 himself tonight. He's got to have a big game. He's got to be the X factor tonight. He's going to have to do something to get them going.
Did you think that Stone goal was going to come down via high stick?
I thought it was a high stick. I think they just couldn't get the right angle because he was kind of leaning. Yeah. So I think but it looked like a high stick to me. I mean, I didn't think that was a great goal. I mean, it was such a quick turnover. I think it caught Bob probably off guard, but that wasn't a really great goal. The Theodore goal I thought was nice.
Howden was standing in front. He couldn't see it at all. You can see Bob trying to get around him, and that's a great job by Howden getting in front like that. That's what you got to do with the good goalies. Got to get in there and take his eyes away.
If they take down that goal, it's weird. I mean, that's why these are good teams. Like they take down that goal, that game could be different. And then the Aiden Hill save. He made a couple really good. He comes really out. Like he sometimes seems to be out of position. That's like the stall goal. It came all the way out and just wrapped around. But that was, I think Kachuk, you just can't throw it across the middle there. Just throw it off the glass, live to fight another day. He tries to go some sort of weird pizza and, it just didn't pan out for him. But He's going to be. I got a feeling he's going to be running around like a nut tonight, like getting tossed at the end of the game. You know, he's a prideful guy. We saw big Keith walking into the rink together. He's right in front of us with the whole Kachuk family. They are a squad. I mean, they are a big group. Even like his grandpa was there with a knee brace on just in case. So they were moving.
What was crazy
and that's
about
what
that?
Right now, like I feel like because of that third period, I'm like, oh, Vegas is so much better. Vegas is going to kill him. But now, like when you keep talking about like those chances missed and this, like it was right there for the taking for Florida. It really was.
Yeah, that's what
Like
I said.
sorry, go ahead.
All
right, even if you see like even near the end, Vegas falls asleep for a second, they get a breakaway. Would have made it. I think it was 4-2 at that time, makes it 4-3, and then it's a sweat. You know, and Aiden Hill makes that big save. It was not a really a great move, but Vegas and Merles and I are sitting there at the end of the second. There's like 15 seconds left, and we're going, you got to get this out. Like, don't fall asleep for the last 15. This is what Florida does. They'll come out really fast, beginning of the period, try to catch you kind of sleeping, and then they try to get you at the end of the period.
Well, right there, Sings, he's got you on you there, Migs. First period over 2 goals plus 175, over 2.5 plus 270. I like that over. I would try to get it probably over 1.5. You get the 2 goals, but I don't mind those
like
odds. Remember, always do that responsibly, Singsy. Bet responsibly.
Yep.
Bet within your limits. Have some fun. It's all about having fun and being with a group and having a crew and cheering together and having a good time.
Yeah. I don't know the shots on goal are always a little tricky because it's like, were they going to hit the net? How did the NHL count them? So now you're betting on block shots. Like, I don't know if I would trust the guy going, was that a block or did he just hit him? Like, I don't know what the formula is to say, oh, that's a block shot and this one is not. So.
And I remember when I played, I always had a good stick. I would block a lot of shots with my stick, and back then they wouldn't count those as block shots. Like you legitimately needed to use your body or your shin, like your shin pads, to get it to count as a block shot in the stats back then. So yeah, that would be really fishy if what they're going to count as a shot or not blocked. Was it a pass?
All right, who's your X factor tonight for the Panthers? Who you got? Who's the guy who's got to be like, man, if this guy has a day, Panther. Obviously outside of the big boys.
Offensively, Brandon Montour's been pretty quiet lately. I think he's going to do a little something tonight. Kachuk's been a little quiet too. I think he might be somewhat hobbled, but he didn't kind of jump off the screen the other night for you. But I think Montour's due for goal assist game or 2 assist game, kind of get a little more involved with the offense because they were having a hard time getting anything set up. Their power play looked terrible the other night. They couldn't get anything going. I mean, just especially when you're down 2 goals, just fucking shoot the puck on net. You don't have to try for the fancy setup all the time. You need 2 goals. There's fucking 5 minutes left. So, I think we'll see hopefully a little more out of Montour tonight. But that first goal will be huge too. It wasn't the other night, but a game of this stature, no one wants to go down 2-0 in the Stanley Cup. So I think we're going to see a much more a smarter effort from Florida. I think they kind of just took a couple cat naps the other night and they killed them. Like the goal match is so wide open up front. You can't leave that guy open anywhere. No. And they paid for it. And it was like basically Florida was doing the same thing. They were kind of choking each other out defensively, waited for an opportunity, and they capitalized it. And, Vegas
you thinking about hedging?
Better job.
You starting to try to figure out a hedge, RA?
If I didn't before the first game, I probably won't. But at the same time, if Florida were to go up 2-1, then yeah, I would be foolish not to throw something on Vegas at plus money. But I do have a small play like 230, and I got in a pool down the local club. So it's not really like I'm hedging it. It was just kind of side action that ended up being with Vegas. So. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'll see what happens.
Live series odds right now on the score bet is Vegas is minus 220 and Florida's plus 180. So that's flipped there, which you would expect that to be like that. I see Brad Perello was talking about it in the chat, and I see another guy here, Mach 11. Is today the day for the Murley special for some overtime? I could feel that. I could feel a OT tonight for us. We're stuck there a little later tonight. You got work tomorrow, so
that's gonna be. I could see it happening just because I know I got work tomorrow, so we'll be there all night. Maybe that could be the play. Oh man,
everybody's flying. Everybody's getting out of here, getting ready to go down to Florida. So of course we'll be here a little extra. I could see an OT, and if it goes to OT. Then I love Florida. Kachuk's going to score. It's automatic. If that's all Florida should do is let's just get this thing to OT. No matter what, we're going to win once it goes to OT with Kachuk.
Now, Burrows, are you getting Florida for Game 3? Are you going to like the first 5 games?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going
to.
to get into the building. It's tough to find tickets. I had a couple people trying to get in, but I think are we doing a live stream, G, for Game 3? So maybe I'll
We
stick
are
around
not,
for,
no.
No, we're not, so I can go into Game 3. I'm trying. It's hard, man. Tickets are so hard to get.
Yeah, they are. Unless you want to sped through the nose. Big race this weekend, too, Merle's, right? Oh,
I think Merle just really pop off on us.
Migs,
The Belmont's this weekend.
You a big pony guy, Migs?
I love going to them. Like, Burls and I have been to Saratoga 100 times. I've been to Del Mar. I went to the Derby last year. So I love being there, bet a couple bucks here and there. It's really fun. The atmosphere is just awesome, with all your buddies. You pick a horse or something. But I think like the Belmont this year and the, it's kind of it sounds bad, but it's a little bit of a letdown. I don't like how they do it. I remember a guy saying, if you race in the first race, you can't skip the Preakness and then come back to the Belmont. It's unfair to the horses who are trying to do all three. So I don't really like that. But I don't know. Who you got? Who do you like?
I'm looking at him right now. I'm a little bit of a horse guy. I'll play the 3 races. I go up to Saratoga probably once a year, but I can't say I'm very familiar with this race. But did you see they closed down Churchill? Freaking more horses died there than freaking World War II or something. There was like 12 horses in like a month or something. That's kind of crazy for that many horses to die.
Yeah, I mean, these horses, if they hurt their foot or their ankle, they're kind of euthanized. It's just they're such beautiful animals and beautiful creatures. So it's like you just hate to hear it. So they had to do something. You got to move it out of there. Maybe it's something to do with the dirt or the turf or eating the wrong hay or whatever it is. But you saw it a couple of years ago in Santa Anita. They had a big issue with some horses dying, which is terrible, and that kind of shined the light on it. So, I think they're doing a better job kind of keeping the horses safer, but you just hate to see it. That's why you like betting on it, and it's fun and everything, but you're kind of like, man. I mean, the horses live better than I do, so it doesn't really. They got bigger houses.
Saratoga's coming up. That starts, I think, July 12th. It's going to be here before you know it, and I'll be there in the first couple of weeks. I'm hoping to see Elio. He usually is up there opening weekend with Dave, and so I'm pretty excited for that because that's all we'll have to look forward to once the Stanley Cup's over. Is that?
Merles, I'm gonna come up. I think. Just let me know when you're up. I've never been to Saratoga, so
right.
I hear this place is paradise on earth.
Oh, it's the best.
I know, and I feel like the first time I gotta go with Merles just to get the lay of the land, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing like it.
Mapped.
You can walk everywhere. After the races, you walk right out. You go to a bar and they got live music going. There's a couple different options. There's one spot for when you're younger you go to, and now we're a little older, so we got to go to the older spot now. We can't be there with all the young kids drinking the high noons and the Pink Whitney shots. The one bar there. What's our bar we always go to, Migs?
The Horseshoe?
Horseshoe, I was in the Horseshoe, and I was there with Johanna
place.
last year, and everybody's handing me Pink Whitney shots, and it got ugly quick. I'm like, I got to go to the older bar. We go down the street to Ciro's, the old bar.
And you can also drag in, you can drag in coolers, which is key. So you can bring beers in, sit out in like a picnic area, and they have these big screens. So you don't have to just be shoveling money for beers. Obviously you can. So you could sit out there and you have big groups. You get like picnic tables and stuff like that. So it's really a great place.
Oh, that's unreal. I love the
like you would want to come up.
Aspect.
Like you would come up. You got to do 2 days. Like we'll do one day like that in the back, bring our own beers and our own food, and then we'll do one day where we go in and get like the seats and sit in the box. And there's so many different ways to do it, and depending who you're with, you can be a family day. You can do a boys.
Yep.
You got everything.
The downtowns. Really the downtown's grown too. It's really nice now. Like the main street's got a bunch of new bars. I mean, we were there a couple of years ago, kind of during COVID, and we went to a place and wasn't Portnoy there, and people were just going. I mean, he's such a celebrity.
He's a king there. He's a
king. He's a king in Saratoga. So, and then Elio, hopefully, he's up there too, G, because obviously he's a horse guy. I think he was putting out picks the other day for horses with like his dad and his grandpa, and they were hitting horses.
He came out of retirement. How about he comes back? He said he hung up the jersey for the season. He pops back up for the finals, and he hits the over game 1. So I'm interested to see if he'll pop up again today.
Also, if people do come, if you bring your own booze, No bottles, right, Rose? You got to bring everything in a can, correct?
Yeah, bring in the plastic. You can't bring glass, so bring in the little nips, plastic Pink Whitney nips. I was sneaking those in last year. You bring those in, and then you got to bring in canned blue lights like I see in the background there. G, no bottles. So what we used to do is, I don't know if this should be on here, but I used to do the Travers Day. I would have 40 guys go up there. I would play a hockey game Thursday night. We would golf Friday. I'd have a barbecue at my house. We'd all go out. Saturday morning, a team bus would pick us up, 40 guys, and we'd all have the same color T-shirt on so we could find each other once we got up there. I would buy 30 packs. So we would walk in with 30 packs. We had a shopping cart filled up with that and with chairs and tables. We would storm into this place. And what we did is, it got too much. Like, little coolers weren't enough. So I would take one of those big garbage cans, like a black garbage can on wheels. I bought one of those. So we would just open that up and we'd fill that all up. So what we would do is we would put the hard booze bottles on the bottom, like the handle of Captain and Jaeger, to sneak it in because they can only look at the top. But we were such dopes. We would forget about them until the end of the day. And that would be the last thing sitting in the trash can cooler was the hard booze. And we're like, let's just drink the Jaeger now. Like, it was mayhem.
Gee, we had this bright green T-shirt with just a big T on the front. And all of us would wear camo shorts because our good friend Ted Fisher, he's a West Point guy. And he was, coming back. He did a couple of tours in Iraq. And then it got so big, everybody knew we'd be at the same one spot, right by the Red River Swing. So people would just, every year would come by and say hello. And so Merle knew the bugle guy, and he would come out at the end, and we'd have Fish stand on a table, and we'd sing God Bless America. The bugle guy would play it. All the park security would come around and be like, are you guys? And they're like, no, we're just having fun. I go, thank you.
It was wild times. Like the Travers. That's changed now. Like, I went to the Travers this year. I sat in like a box. I had a suit on with the wife and my brother and his wife. Like, it's changed a lot for us, Miggy. Those days are done. Yeah. But if G comes up, maybe we'll rekindle it for one
loosen
night.
up the shoulder.
We got it, boys. We got to show. Wait, so how old were you guys when you guys were doing this?
At 25.
Yeah, I did it. Like, I did it for. I did it for
like last year. I was doing this.
It was. We used to keep track of it. I think we did it like 15 years in a row, and I always did it. And it kind of stopped when I started playing overseas because I would be gone on Travers. I would have to be at like those KHL training camps or in August, so I missed it. But
it started with 6 of us. There was like 6 of us, and we would go to Albany the first night and stay out all night, and then you play golf. And by the end of it, like Burl said, there's probably like 60 or 70 people there, just all the guys, like NHL guys coming down. Like, I remember Mersey, the guy for the Sabres. Yeah. He had the big tee, and he was walking around, and people were signing his shirt. Oh, man. It's just, it ended up getting to the point where it's like, it would take weeks just to plan it. It's just like, man, this is too much.
Well, and
I missed the last one.
So it would be like, I think it was like $50. I'd be like, everybody just give me $50 and you're set. You have free booze for 3 days. Yep. You got a ride, you got a shirt, you got golf. So everybody would give me cash. There's no Venmo or anything back then. It's all cash. Everybody would pay me, and I'm going up to the track with this huge brick. I'd wake up Sunday with nothing and then have to pay all these bills. I'd have to pay the bus, pay the booze, pay the barbecue. It was brutal.
And you'd see the bus ride up, everybody be like head down, like completely hungover, just asleep. And then the bus ride after the day home, everybody's just mayhem. So I'm telling you, G, you'll love that spot. It's so easy to get around. People are so nice there. Everybody's there having fun. People are dressed nice, etc. It's really good time.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Bossy's a great time.
Talk. Yeah, we got any more hockey talk, or should we wrap this thing up here?
Well, I don't know if we showed the great people your Barstool boost that we got here.
Yeah, I put this boost together for us. Carlson to get a point, my Swedish Viking. We got Theo, the mixer. He just throws it in the mixer, 2.5 shots, and then Vegas to win. Plus 600 on the Barstool Sports book. Unbelievable value there. Plus 600. How far is it to drive to Arizona from here, Migs? I might drive down there and
I'll give you the keys.
Get on the
app
real quick and punch that one in.
Try to get it in. A couple hours.
That's not bad.
Merles, you got a pick for the Belmont? Yeah, we lost you there for a second.
Belmont. No, I haven't really looked at that. I'm telling you, after my horses yesterday, I might not even. I might not even go to Saratoga this year. That's how bad it was yesterday. There was a horse called Merzel. It had 5 letters of my name, Merle's, in it, and I'm like, look at that horse. That thing's probably good. Didn't bet it. It won at 9-5.
What were you
I
trying
mean,
to
it had my name in it, and I still lost. Like I didn't bet it. Like it's a disaster.
How about
That- yeah.
we're getting killed, RA. My girlfriend all of a sudden she just puts in, she knows horses, like she does follow it. She puts in, for the first time in her life she put in the same 2 bets. She hit a 19-1 over a 22-1 and paid $500. Me and Merle are over there just bleeding. She's like, look how much I won. I was like, oh no. Yeah, she had it. It was good. So yeah, the horses are good.
Did you do anything with that NBA game last night? Either one of you two?
No, I'm telling you, RA. I haven't won a bet since the Vegas money line. I have not won anything.
I took Miami for the series plus 320. I mean, after the way they decimated everyone in the East, I don't know how you don't take them. I know Joker's unbelievable, but 1-1 so far. Pretty good game last night.
And you got to trust Spoelstra. He's going to make the right moves. I mean, I think he did it in the Boston. And Jimmy Butler's going to have 1 or 2 games where he drops. I don't know how many he had last night, but he's going to drop 40 or 50 on you. But that guy Spoelstra, man, I think he's one of like just the best coaches. And Pat Riley, obviously, being like kind of the godfather there. That's huge though. Plus 320. That's a great price.
Do you see that stat on Pat Riley that he's been in like 30% of the finals in some way or something in his life? Like what?
Insane. Yeah, as a coach, executive player, all that shit.
Yeah, that's
wild. Rear, you ready for Vegas, Rear? You ready to get out here and chip away at the lights?
Fuck yeah. I'm a Vegas veteran. I haven't been out much lately. I think I went 15 consecutive years, and some of those years I went like 3-4 times. I used to run trips with the boys out there and stuff, but then it just started getting monotonous. You know, you get a little older, it's like, the club shit, that it's like, all right, whatever, I'll take a little time out here.
So I went out for March Madness a few years ago. That was the absolute like best thing I've ever done. We went to that.
That's my wife. I'm not here.
But yeah, it was just the best. Have you guys ever gone out to Vegas for March Madness?
Yep.
Yeah.
The first day of March Madness was like the best day of my life, best and worst day of my life. But it was incredible.
Yeah, that's what's awesome too. I remember that because the game starts at 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah, 8:30 first one. Yeah,
we woke up. All of a sudden the game's on, and then it was the games all day. And I think we were in bed by like 9 that day. Migs, that first Thursday, Friday.
I don't think I made it to
so
9.
early.
Yeah, sat there drinking space dust all day. Didn't go really well, but now they got it. So. But I'll look forward to seeing you guys when you get out here. All right, it'll be fun. Good time.
Excited to get out there.
Cannot wait.
Yeah, I can't wait for you guys. I'm telling you, I was telling Merle, it's really kind of the first time Merle's been out here since he's kind of been on. Man, Chicklets is a monster. Like, you guys have done such a great job. Everybody in Vegas loves it. Merle's goes in the rink. He's like a celebrity. All the guys who I work with are running over to say it. I'm going, man, I know this guy since we were 5 years old. It's everybody's screaming Chicklets and EBR and
I feel like Vegas is Merle's demo. Like, we go to all these cities, everyone notices Merle's, but you got to imagine that people in Vegas notice Merle's a little bit more because of EBR.
They know.
Yeah, I'm getting some DMs. Guys want to meet up and play some blackjack before the game today. I don't think I'm going to do any blackjack, but I'm going to be down in that square. I'll be at the beer house or somewhere around there. I'll be in that square and looking for fans to say hello, have some beers. We met the one guy right before we went in. He was from Alaska, a guy from Alaska. He was down watching the games.
Wasn't there a guy also we met that was he was from like Lowell. I think he was from Lowell, Mass.
Yeah, I met another guy. Yeah, he was friends with Teddy Purcell and a couple other guys. He was from Lowell originally. Had the Boston accent like R.A. Sully, he was a good guy. He gave us a couple free drink tickets. Yeah, it's been great. It's really fun. So if anybody's on here listening, they see us today, come say hi. Let's rip some Pink Whitney shots, drink some Labatt Blue Lights, and have a good
Merle,
time.
Just a reminder before we wrap up, we will not be dropping a podcast tomorrow morning. The podcast will be coming out around 2 o'clock tomorrow. Biz has to travel immediately after the game, so we will not be able to record after the game. We will be recording tomorrow morning around 9-10 a.m. So if you're expecting the pod tomorrow morning, you're going to have to wait. Expect it in the afternoon.
Yeah, awesome. But thanks for coming on, RA. Thanks.
My pleasure.
Big Z.
Anytime.
Good show. It's tough without Army. I love when Army's here. He's great with somehow. I'm not great at reading the chat and doing the show at the same time. He's unreal at multitasking with that. So shout out to everybody in there. Like and subscribe on the YouTube table. Florida Panthers super fan. RA, he needs it tonight.
Let's go, Cats.
Yeah, I mean, the game, it's what? It's 10 a.m. here. This game's going to be here before we know it, Migs. Yeah. So let's
that's it. Got to get out.
Let's go. Great show. Thanks, guys. Thanks, G, for everything behind the scenes. Get over, play that boost on Barstool, plus 600 Carlson. A couple shots in the mixer from Petro, and let's have a good night.
I'll see you on the Atlantic coast.
All righty.